Sheryl, we are live, kind of, because sort of. Hey, everyone, this is the Lynn and Sheryl show. I'm Lynn Serrano.
And I'm Sheryl Isenhour.
We'll be right back after this, I think. Welcome back, everyone. Hello, Sheryl. How are you today?
Vertical and no dirt, which makes for a good day.
Speaking of vertical, oh my goodness. I tried something different today and I only lasted 7 minutes, so I guess it's better than no minutes at all. And there's our Mr. Bob. Thank you, Mr. Bob, for being here.
Hello, Bob.
Our topic today is care about purpose and the antidote to depression. And, you know, you asked me why I wanted to talk about this. I don't admit it. I don't sit there and I won't stay there. But I deal with depression. I mean, traumatic stuff, blah blah blah, and I don't take it lightly. But I know that I don't stay there because it doesn't make me feel any better to play that old record on my head. And sometimes the vitamin D's down or different things. But again, you got to say, okay, what can I do to change how I feel, what I'm doing, and it takes little bite size of little things for us to change and do things. We don't have to do things so dramatic. Like today, I thought I'd do 20 minutes with my legs up on a get wall. I made it. I made it less than a bull rider. That's 8 seconds, but I made it like 7 minutes, and I realized I'm gonna have to ease into that. But again, I have proof that it's going to be beneficial for me.
And
And
Lynn, that's what you've got to dwell on is it's going to be beneficial. And your purpose is to be better, feel better, have your body work better. And you can only put it off so long. And like Bob just said, it's baby steps. If you went in there and you could throw your legs up for 20 minutes like you're talking about, that's not long enough for you in the beginning.
no.
You're
To
going to
me,
get more.
yeah, to me, I was like, come on, Lynn, you can do this. Why are you quitting right now? I mean, I even told you I might be late, which I wasn't going to be late, but I was like, it's so easy to fall the demons or the thoughts that come to divert, or excuses that come up to say, well, I can't do that because I might be late, or I don't know how I feel, whatever. It's like, just do what you know you got to do and see what happens from
The
there.
devil and the angel, just make sure the angel is bigger than the devil that day. But
Exactly.
it's so much easier to slide into that, listen to this one, because yes, it's natural. You've got other things to do. You're like me. 20 minutes it's kind of like that's a lifetime when you've got to find another 20 minutes. It's ridiculous. I mean, we all live 24 hours a day, and we can't find 20 minutes. Same excuse I use for exercise a lot of times, for eating. I mean, I even use that excuse for having lunch. I'm too busy. And that's another topic one day we need to hit on is busy being busy.
Yeah, yeah, maybe that'll be next week. But seriously, I just really have to, everything is a matter of taking little steps. Like you get one of those IKEA put it stuff together, right? Now, if you're like me, you're like, shit, I know this goes here, this goes there. You see how much you could do before you read the instructions, right?
Usually
So,
about one step too many before you got to take it apart.
right? But again, the point is whether you do it yourself, how you want to figure it out, or you do the instructions, it is a step-by-step process.
Hey, I like the instructions. Jerry, not so much. Um, literally, not so much. Uh, I I don't always what you say, try, and do it. But a lot of times I'll just read over them first, and then you've got an idea. But I always keep them there because the times I don't, I'm notorious for the second piece I put on was the wrong one, and I'm 50 pieces in.
Well, again, it fits in our topic with care about purpose and the antidote to depression. you either take care and take the steps for the purpose of getting this bookshelf together, or you're going to be pissed off, which can bring depression because you didn't achieve your goal. I mean, you could take anything as an analogy, but the bottom line is that if you want to have a purpose, or you want to, and the purpose is just to feel better, find things that are going to make you feel better. Don't sit there. I've been diagnosed with so many different things, and it's like I don't sit there and hypochondriac or look at the things. I'm like, if I get there and if it affects me, then I go, okay, take that off the list. But you can't live vicariously by what the stereotypical thing of anything. You have to see how you tick. You have to see what's going to work for you, because there's many ways to get somewhere. There's many ways of doing things.
Well, I
And
coach a lot of people, at times that are in depression. You and I were talking earlier. I honestly am not sure I've ever been depressed. So it's hard for me. I have to really work at the empathy that goes with it because I don't understand it.
yeah.
I got a taste of it heavily taking care of parents when they would get depressed. And I'm sure my day's coming, and I'm sure I'm not going to be the one and only. But I think depression sometimes is another form of mindset too.
Well, I think for me, mindset is what I have to focus on in order to alleviate those pitfalls of depression or those triggers of depression. And also see, to me, I think even in a traumatic situation, there's always good things about it that you can focus on. I had a house fire in 2001, and I sometimes go, oh man, I wish I had this, or the kids' pictures, or I don't have this, or blah blah blah. And it's like, so, I mean, like, you
Nobody
just,
got hurt.
yeah, well, I lost my puppy in it, but yeah, it is one of those things where you just look and say, we all have our lives, and the what ifs, thank God they didn't happen. So I mean, it just, you really have to take whatever scenario and change your perspective on it, and change it to say, well, okay, if that didn't happen to me, but it happened to somebody else, how would I feel, or how would they see it, or it just, we need to shake up. I this is something I tell everybody: if it's not working for you, find something else that is.
Yeah.
You know. So, hi Jackie. This was one of my dear friends. She was at my house not too long ago, and I miss her dearly. So thanks for watching. But again, I think we need to realize that we don't have to be depressed if we don't need to be. Just change what you're thinking, because life will throw you curves. Life will throw you things to make you depressed. Like you said, when people pass away, when things don't go your way. I mean, there's just so many things that we go through. I mean, life can either be tragedy or successes, or catapult you to the next ability of being empathetic with other people. I mean, it really is an important thing to know that you don't need to be stuck unless you choose to be stuck.
I agree, Tom. It really
No, yes, chronic depression is more than a mindset. Absolutely. But I was chronically depressed for years, and Jackie can tell you that. Um, but my point in saying this is that you need to start finding, better medicine to take. So,
that's on Lynn's side.
yeah,
No,
blame it on me. I can't answer that.
the thing about it is if you're in depression, the bad part is it's hard to see how to get out. That's where people need to, if they can muster it up, find somebody to help it, whether it be a spouse, whether it be a friend. Just let them know you're depressed, and maybe they can hit that trigger that you can't think about.
Yeah. And therapy is a great place to start. There's no doubt about that. Therapy can be a place to start healing, and there's different things that can help with that. I personally don't choose to be medicated all the time. Been there, done that, and I could write a book about that as well. But again, it's one of those things. If you want to change how you're feeling or what you're going through, you got to change your thoughts. You got to change your direction. I mean, we all have to grieve. We all have to go through things. You have to feel it, and you have to understand it, and you have to move on from it in order to get somewhere. So we're not trying to consult anybody or give any clinical, advice here or anything like that. But again, it's when they tell me, but you got depression because of everything I went through, or this or that, it's like, I'm not going to let those things define me. I'm not going to be sitting here and saying, oh, it's because of this, or it's because of that. No, I'm sorry. And even my lipedema is not going to be my reason to say I'm going to stay where I'm at. I mean, don't let things be excuses. Let them be things that give you your superpower to say, I'm not defined by those things.
I mean, that's where you hit it, Lynn. That's where the power comes from. It's when you decide that you're not going to let it happen. I mean, therapy is good, but therapy is only as good as what you listen to. You
Right.
still have to make your mind up to do it.
You have to take the action. You have to do the work, because no one outside of you can do the work you need to do with inside. I say this all the time, and I'll keep saying it. It's an inside job. And the only inside job that gets done is what you allow in. And if you're depressed, why are you going to sit there and watch drama or some thriller, scary thing? It's your environment. It's the things you surround yourself. You got to get around like-minded people or different things. I mean, because those are things that are causing you to stay in the state you're in. You don't keep eating apple pie and bitch because the scale's going up. You can bitch about the scale going up, but maybe reduce the pie. Reduce the pie and see if it reduces your assets a little bit.
I mean, I'm going to start by saying I like wine. Okay. I'm not a non drinker by far. But I think one of the biggest mistakes that I see out there is people that try to drink the depression away. I think that's where a lot of it goes bad, because then you have no control over your mind. And when you get sober, you're right back where you came from.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, I'm not a medicine. Medicine does not work for me. Well, it works, but I'm not a medicine taker
Right.
if I can help it. So I'm kind of left with, you just kind of got to think it through. And I think that's a lot of it. People don't want to think anymore, especially if it's on the negative side of life.
Yeah, I mean, it just there's times I feel we're at rock bottom, and I mean, physically right now I feel rock bottom, and slowly I need to work on that, and that's enough to depress anybody. Trust me.
Hey,
I
you got
know.
20 minutes a day to work on it.
Yeah.
Twice a day.
I got 7 minutes in today. We'll see what I do tomorrow. I even took pictures of my legs up on the wall. I don't know why I did that. Maybe someday I'll share that. But right now I ain't going to see nobody, unless somebody hacks my phone. Anyhow, but again, I think this came about in a Zig Ziglar email to you.
Actually, it was in coming from Ziglar, one of their emails of some of the topics that they teach on. I like keeping up with what's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then, the things you don't think about, the things you haven't dealt with in a short period of time. I mean, I haven't dealt with anybody in depression in a while. So things like this catch my mind to realize, okay, that's part of the world, Sheryl. And you've got to, if you're gonna help people, you've got to stay up on those things, because you never know, the next person you meet may need to be the one that you deal with.
Yeah. Bob goes, tomorrow 7 minutes and 1 second. Short goal. Yeah.
I'll make it 5.
Yeah. No, I think matter of fact, I screenshotted my timer because I was like, I can't believe I did that for just that short amount of time. But I was like, actually I did. Yeah, I did. Actually, I did what? Yeah. I mean, I have my timer on there and stuff, and I'm just like, that's all I got for it today. But I showed up to do it.
Like we talked about, it's a good time to listen to a book. It's a good time to think about whatever you got to think about that day. Don't lose it to the pain. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Don't lose the 20 minutes to the pain.
Thank you, Tom, but no thank you. We don't try to sell any products here for depression. You should see your doctor. But thanks thanks, but no, thank you. But again, and we're not dispensing any advice here. We're just talking about life in general, and and food for thought. I love to just make people think for themselves and make a decision for themselves, because nobody has the right to feel like they have the antidote for somebody else. I mean, we're not here for that. But anyhow, any last words there, Sheryl?
All I've got to say is keep up with what's going on in your world, make the best of it. I mean, you're the only one that has the huge control over it. Life events can change it, but if it changes it, bring it back into perspective.
Yeah. Well, I think having a purpose and caring and trying to stay on the happy side of things, I found is the best medicine for me. And it's not an easy thing to do, but I choose to do it every day. You can choose anything you want every day or not, but don't bitch about it if you're not happy. You only have yourself to blame on that. And take responsibility and ownership for it. And things change when you own it and say, this is where I'm at. Let's see where we can go. I mean, when I used to go running and I didn't run for a while, I'd run 2 blocks, stop, and then run again. I mean, until you got a whole mile. I mean, it is baby steps. It is starting and being consistent. So again, thank you everybody for being here. We appreciate that. And we love you. And I love you, Sheryl.
Love you too, sweetie.
And I'll see you next week. Stay right there.
You're like a circle that floats around me.